What is the best way to learn a language? So this is a question that I've been asking myself a long time. I used to live in France. I lived there for about 2 years. That's a picture of me on the left on the top of the Arc de Triomphe. And I asked this question a lot because at the time I was learning French and I wanted to make sure that I was doing it properly because it was important to what I was doing. It was something that I encountered every single day, and I wanted to make sure that I was learning French the right way. And so over time, I realized that there's a huge gap between how we learn languages and then how we actually need to use the language. You'll see this when you'll have people who majored in a language in college, especially in the United States. They go abroad and they can barely even order a coffee.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
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 So I kept on asking myself these questions like, why is this going on? What's happening? And eventually I realized that the language learning formula is actually quite simple. If you want to learn how to read in another language, you need to read. If you want to learn how to write in another language, you need to write. If you want to learn grammar, you need to do more grammar exercises. If you want to improve listening comprehension, you need to listen to native speakers speaking your target language. And if you want to speak, well, you need to speak the language. And so what happens often in school, especially in the United States, is we focus a lot, for instance, on doing grammar exercises or memorizing vocabulary. But in reality, we're not doing these other core things that are going to allow us to actually speak and be able to use the language fluently. And so that's where AI for language learning comes in. Now, especially for the speaking and listening practice, there's a lot of tools out there. You can listen to YouTube videos with subtitles. You can listen to TikTok. You can do Netflix, whatever you want. Once you actually get to speaking practice, it's a little more complicated. There are services such as italki that allow you to practice with a language partner for money. You can also just find native speakers in your local area. That might be a little bit easier if you're actually living in the country where the language you're trying to learn is spoken commonly. But AI here presents a huge opportunity for us to actually practice speaking. And so this is where large language models come in, such as ChatGPT. The idea is that you can, with a given prompt, have the AI act like a language partner that's going to teach you the language, that's going to help you practice the language, that's going to ask you questions so that you're forced to sort of use the mental energy to form phrases in your head and then to say them without any errors, and that is also going to correct you on the errors that you do. But what's most important about this is that this is essentially infinite practice. So you speak to the AI can speak back to you with text-to-speech, and you just get this infinite practice loop that's going to help you get more and more fluent at the language. And so you can already do this with ChatGPT, and there are other tools out there, but I've made one of my own. And that's called LinguaLearn. So LinguaLearn is a free service. You have to download and install it that allows you to chat with LLMs in order to learn a language. So what do I mean by this? Well, so if we go to the GitHub, you see I've created a very simple Flask app using Google's Gemini Pro just because it's free. Obviously, you can plug in your own API keys, use ChatGPT, Mistral, whatever you want. But let's just get started. So we'll actually go to LinguaLearn, and this is running on my host computer, but obviously eventually we can publish it to the web. And you see we have all these language options. I'm just going to start with English because I'm assuming everyone here watching this video speaks English, but you see we also have Spanish, French, and German, all languages that I'm working on learning. So we'll go to English. It says, "Hello, I'm your English teacher. How are you doing today?" And then here we can just start a normal conversation. So I'm going to click on this little microphone icon, and I'm going to say, "I'm doing fine, thank you." We'll submit it.
I am glad to hear that you are doing well. What do you like to do in your free time?
And so you see now it's asking me just a pretty basic question about what I like to do in my free time. Now let's say that I don't understand what free time is. I could say, "What does free time mean?"
Free time is the time when you are not working or studying. It is the time when you can do whatever you want. What do you like to do in your free time?
And you see it asks me the question again. And so we can continue to talk, to practice. Obviously, I'm a native English speaker, so this is very easy to me. But if I wasn't, for instance, I could really get my head working on how am I going to formulate these phrases and continue talking with this AI. So let's say that I make a basic English error. I am like doing skiing.
Do you mean you like skiing? Skiing is a great way to get exercise and enjoy the outdoors. Where do you usually go skiing?
And so you see it corrects me. It's not super in your face about the correction, but it simply just repeats what you say in correct English grammar to help you learn. And so you'll see this a lot, especially when you're actually talking to native speakers. Obviously, you're not going to correct every single error that a person makes unless you're French. No, I'm just kidding. Now, obviously, a language partner isn't going to correct every single error that you make, but you see, you can learn a lot just by noticing how you speak. I am like doing skiing, and then how the AI or your language partner is going to speak. Do you mean you like skiing? Yes, I like skiing. I am not like doing skiing, but I like doing skiing, or I like skiing. And you can see that it again asks another question, and so we can keep on going this conversation. We can restart the conversation by just hitting refresh, and then even try out other languages. But the idea is that using LLMs, using specifically Google's Gemini Pro module, we can just get infinite language practice no matter where we are. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure to leave a thumbs up. I'm looking for improvements, suggestions on this service, so please let me know, and let's all learn a language together. 2024 is the year where you're going to get fluent in a language using AI.